What's up guys, I'm John and we're going to go ahead and take a look at this little scope right here, the CVLIFE 416 by 44. Alright, so let's take a look at this bad boy. This is the box that came in. Nice little foam packaging. Everything in here would obviously be wrapped in plastic, but I'm a little child and I couldn't wait for the video to take it out and play with it, so I took it out of the plastic. Nice little manual here. All kind of information, specifications or specs if you will. There's a nice little picture of the reticle, usually the measurements and all that stuff. It talks about eye relief, adjustments, locking turrets, the whole nine. There's a little bit more in-depth on the locking turrets. Anyway, up here you got a little box of scope rings, which is nice. It gives you some 30 mil scope rings. Not bad. They do have locking lugs right there for the Picatinny. I'm probably not going to use these on my AR because I'm going to put it on an AR, and most of those scope mounts need to offset, toward the front of the gun, so these don't really work for that. But it's a nice little touch, throw in. They feel pretty solid, better than some I've seen. Scope cap for the rear. Allen wrench for the locking turrets and batteries. You see I've already put one in. Little lens cloth, most of them come with that. So here is the actual scope. It's a 416 by 44, 30 millimeter tube. It's got side windage adjustments, elevation adjustment right there. It's got battery cap. This is where your illuminated reticle battery comes from. You can adjust it right here. It's pretty stiff, but you don't want it moving, I don't guess. It does have cutoffs in between each one, so you don't have to like wind it all the way back to get to that setting. You can just click it once to turn it off. Side parallax right there to adjust your focus and your parallax. It does have this throw lever that I've already put on here, which is pretty cool. It just gives you a nice little handle to spin that magnification dial all the way around, from 4 to 16. Here's the ocular lens right here, your adjustments. Flip cap on the front, it's threaded on the inside for this sunshade right here. So the whole scope, they say it's 14 inches long. I'm not going to measure it, I'm going to take their word for it. And it weighs 25 ounces, which some people might think is kind of heavy, but for a 4 to 16 by 44, it's kind of right on par with everybody else. That 20 to 25 ounce range. The reticle is MOA, so if you look right here, you can see all of the little specifications. On the reticle, it's got the little Christmas tree with your windage, your elevation hold, and all that stuff. The dials are also MOA. You can see right there, one click, quarter MOA. It's nice. Some people are like, they like mils or MRADs or whatever, but I'm not that big into precision shooting, so I don't really care. As long as the turrets line up with the reticle, that's all I'm worried about. So, if you click it and your reticle, it matches up. You don't want MOA turrets with a MRAD or mil reticle. This is a first focal plane scope. What that means is as you zoom in, the reticle gets bigger. So let's go back to the reticle like this. This is how it would look at max magnification. And as you zoom out, lower the magnification dial, the reticle kind of appears, it seems like it's going away from you and it gets really small and really narrow. If you look closely, you might be able to see the red in the middle right there. That's the illuminated part when you cut the illumination on. that part is the only part that's red. So like if you're on 4 power, you've got the illumination like maxed out, it kind of will seem like a red dot, but it's kind of hard for scopes like this to be red dot bright at the lowest power setting. It's not really what it's designed to do. Some of them do a pretty good job of it, but for the most part, most scopes, it's just so you can see the reticle in low light. They're not trying to be a like dedicated red dot or, you know, LPVO bright type thing. For those of you that want to see it with the sunshade on, you're going to put in like a long bolt gun, do that sniper rifle kind of look, and it looks pretty cool. I'm probably not going to use this because, like I said, it's going on an AR, and it's just a little bit too much, you know, for my taste anyway, on an AR. So there's the up close on the CVLIFE 4-16 by 44 first focal plane rifle scope, 30mm tube. So we got this 4-16 by 44 from CVLIFE on the 18-inch AR, and I'm just now getting it to where I can like sight it in. I ran into some issues. I had this 20 MOA base from Arkin. I thought would be pretty good because it looks sturdier than the 0 MOA, and I figured the 20 would help, you know, give it a little bit more elevation because 5.56 kind of drops a little more at longer range, you know, it kind of loses power. So I figured the 20 might help, you know, kind of pick it up a little bit and, you know, pick the barrel up so I could get a little more arch on it. But what happened is I realized the scope right here only has like 30, according to the paper, plus or minus 30 MOA of adjustment. And when you put 20 on the, when you go ahead and put 20 on it already, you really only got 10. And I was like 7 or 8 inches, what was it, high or low? High. I was hitting 7 or 8 inches high, so I'd have to aim like on the 7th or 8th MOA tick mark on the reticle, and that's where it was hitting, and I couldn't go any lower on the turret. So what I had to do is swap this 20 MOA base for a 0. This is a worn skeletonized whatever AR mount. It's one I've had for a little while. So I put it on there and we're getting it good. I just shot some 62 grain AAC, and pretty decent little group, especially out of an $80 Palmetto State barrel. It's nothing fancy. It's not hammer forged, it's not stainless, it's not accurized or anything. So I think that's pretty decent for that barrel with 62 grain. I'm gonna shoot some 77, some AAC 77 OTM out of it. See what kind of groups I can get out of that, because this thing can do like half or 3/4 with 75 grain gold dots, which is 223. I would like it to be able to do like sub MOA with this 77 OTM, because this stuff is kind of more available and it's not really cheaper. It's probably about the same price as those gold dots, but this is easier to come by because you can get it from Palmetto State all day long. Not, you know, as we speak, we can. So, and this is what I'm going to run out of my my SBR. The OTM's going to try it in the SBR, so hopefully it'll do pretty good with these. I'm confident that it will, but we'll see. The scope looks really good. I tried to get a little bit through with the camera through the reticle. It's kind of hard to match up the focus on the camera and the ocular and the scope. It's a lot of different lenses and everything. You kind of have to try to focus and get looking good. But anyway, it looks good to my eye through here. It's got parallax adjustment on the side, which I found out how that works because I had it set at like 300 and I couldn't get the target and the reticle to line up or to both focus with the ocular ring. So I adjusted it back to 100 and guess what? It looked great. All right, so I've had a little bit of time to shoot this thing. I took it to the range, got it zeroed in, tried to look at the reticle, you know, how zooming in, zooming out, because it's first focal plane, you know, the reticle gets bigger as you zoom it in. So I was trying to, you know, kind of get a feel for how precise that little dot in the middle was at, you know, trying to hit small targets. If you want to maybe put this on like a range gun, like a precision, like competition gun or something like that. And then I brought it out here in the woods to kind of see, you know, how it does with kind of sunny, kind of overcast, just kind of going in and out with some clouds. So try to see, you know, how it does with bright light, with daylight, looking at distance with heat, because, you know, heat mirage is a definite thing. Trying to get kind of a feel for also if, you know, I don't have a red dot on here, a piggyback or a side mount or whatever, which I probably will, but anyway, I tried to kind of get comfortable shooting this thing at 4-power at short range, maybe like 30 to 50 yards away. You know, I mean, your precision rifle needs to be somewhat capable of fighting with, not just laying down and shooting 300-400 yards away. You know, if something does come up, you know, right around the corner and you don't know it, and you have to make a shot at 50 yards, and, you know, dial it back to 4 and make a shot, it's not that bad. The reticle has thick lines on the sides and the bottom, so that kind of helps you find it when you're coming up on target. And the little bars in the middle, as long as it's bright like this, it's not a problem. I guess if it was getting kind of low light, you could just turn the illumination on. But anyway, shooting it close at a small target wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just as long as you've got some good, you know, mechanics and you're kind of used to it, you can bring it up and you can find that reticle and you can put it on there. It's not going to be near as fast as a 1-power LPVO or even a red dot, but it's not claiming to be. It's just, you know, if you had it on a rifle that you didn't have a piggyback red dot on and you had to take a close shot, you can do it. I also wanted to come out here and kind of tote it around a little bit with some other gear, like a chest rig and a pack, kind of see how the gun feels. I mean, this isn't a lightweight gun by any means. It's got an 18-inch barrel, a full-length rail, a bipod, you know, rifle stock, all that stuff. And this scope is kind of on par with those scopes, about 25 ounces or so. So it's not a humongous, you know, boat anchor on the rifle, but it's not going to be like an ultralight, you know, sub 20 ounce like hunting scope. It's not what it's designed to be. It's got a lot more features than your normal hunting scope, like adjustable dials, like I guess exposed turrets. I mean, all of them have adjustable dials, but exposed turrets. It's got illumination. It's got what's that thing? Parallax. It's got parallax adjustment on the side. It's a 30mm tube, and, you know, it's got a lot going for it. So it's not claiming to be you know, a lightweight, ultralight hunting scope. That being said, it's not too heavy. You can do that if you want to. I would have no problem taking this rifle right here, even in 5.56, you know, deer hunting, because, you know, I rarely find a deer over 200 pounds. Most of them are like 100, 150. So 223 with the right bullet, the right shot, it's plenty enough for a deer. That's a different discussion. But anyway, this right here would be a plenty capable hunting scope. Even if you wanted to put it on a 308, if you're, you know, shooting 400 or 500 yards, or you're shooting bigger animals. If you wanted to put it on like a Magnum gun, 300 Win Mag, something like that, Norma mags, 7mm, whatever. If you're out in the open area hunting, it'd probably be a great scope for that too. I can't speak to the durability of it because I just haven't had it long enough. You know, I'm not just going to beat the crap out of it to see how durable it is, because I don't really think any scope is. I don't think any scopes, you know, claim to fame as their durability. It's usually glass clarity, reticle, and stuff like that, which this one seems to have pretty decent glass. I'm no scope expert, so, you know, don't take my word for it, but to me it looks pretty good. I can see targets as far as I can see with them. You know, I've looked at things 400-500 yards away in it. You know, it looks fine to me. The reticle, it's just a standard Christmas tree. It is MOA. Some people like Mills or MRADs or whatever other flavor you want. This one's MOA, and the turrets match, so that's a good thing. But at any rate, it's got, to me, it's got decent glass, and the reticle, standard Christmas tree. You know, a lot of them have that. Some of them kind of have a Christmas tree with like donut style reticles around it for your like low power. But, you know, a lot of that's more for like 1 to 6, 2 to 10s, things like that. 4 to 16s, like I said, you're not really taking up close shots that much, so they're not really trying to give you a CQB or fast acquisition reticle. They're trying to give you something that you can range with, you can do wind holds with, and all that stuff. at distance, because it's a 4-16. Come on. One thing I kind of have noticed, it does look a little long. Just, you know, sitting on this right, it's a long scope, which I don't think it really looks too terrible on this one if you're worried about, you know, how your gun looks. I know I am to a certain extent, but if you're worried about that, it probably would look great on a bolt action rifle. You know, a 308, a little Ruger American or Remington 700, something like that. Even, you know, if you had one of those rifles with the cool tactical chassis system platforms or whatever, it'd probably look great on that too. So with all that being said, I'm not telling you to buy this. I'm just showing you what it is and what it offers. If you do feel like buying one, I do have a link, Amazon. It'll be in the description. You can go to there. You can buy it through that link, and you know, it'll kind of give me a couple quarters or something like that, and it'll let me know that you guys are watching and you actually appreciate the information I give you. So if you're looking for a 4-16, for an AR, a SPR, bolt action hunting rifle, whatever you want to throw it on, just give it a look. I'm not telling you to buy it, like I said. Just take a look at it, and yeah, if you want to buy it, use my link. I'll appreciate that. All right, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, all that stuff for new videos, new products that I'll be reviewing. People are starting to send me more stuff, so kind of broadening my horizon on things I can kind of show and review. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, go do all that stuff, and we'll see y'all next time.